Okay, so we've got, what I want you to do now is let's start with a cube. And what I want to do is I want to see more of the left edge of this cube than of the right edge of this cube. And so there's a few things, kind of reviewing what we talked about the other day, that I need to keep in mind. I'm going to see more of this edge. What's happening when I draw the other vanishing point or vanishing line? Are these going to converge quicker than these, or slower than these? More quickly. Right. So these will converge at a slower pace, and these will converge quicker. It's not overly apparent here. I'm not seeing a whole bunch more of the left side of this cube, but I am seeing a little bit more. Now, we talked about the two things that you really need to get down are, and quickly, are proportion and going towards the correct vanishing point. Well, that's going to be even more important right now when we're trying to put an ellipse in. Because what we're going to do is we're going to fill in each of these faces of this cube with an ellipse. And I'm going to show you a slightly different way to do it rather than using the chord method. But I want to put one on this face first. What would be maybe the first thing that I need to know? Center point, right. And I'm just going to kind of guess. I think I see it right there. Next thing? What's the next thing I need to know? What's the next helpful construction line I can put in here? What was the first thing we did over here? Thank you. Minor axis. So let's draw in that minor axis. Okay. From here, what I want is I want to find each of the midpoints of each of these lines. Somewhere about right there, and there, and there, and there. Right? How are those midpoints going to help us? What do I know about the midpoints? If I'm drawing, I want to put an ellipse on this face. What do I know about those midpoints? They're going to come in tangent to that edge. Just like right here, and just like right here. Each of these midpoints have a tangential relationship. Yeah, you like that? And so this tells me my angle. My minor axis tells me my angle. It tells me something else. My minor axis tells me one other piece of information. It's bisecting. And so when I start to look at this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my page to where I feel comfortable kind of ghosting in an ellipse. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at really 5 things. I'm looking at that minor axis, and I'm looking at each of these points. I've kind of forgotten about the overall size that I'm trying to draw. But at each of these points, I want to make sure that it's coming in tangent. Don't draw this in. But I want to make sure it's coming in tangent. And I want to make sure that this line is cutting my ellipse in half. So I want you to, instead of using your template, I want you to kind of try and ghost one in. And so what I'm looking at from here, obviously that is not the most precise of ellipses. But I've got an idea of what it's like. And so now I can slow that pen down, and I can start even at each of these. Make sure I'm coming off and intersecting in a tangent manner at those midpoints. This is the one where I just need to make sure I stretch it down. And there's my ellipse. Freehand. The reason why I had you guys bring the templates in is because I wanted you to really be able to do this exercise and make sure it looked right. But from here, what I want you to do is, on this exercise, let's do them all freehand. So I want to do that on the right face of this cube. So what do I need? What's the first thing I need? What is the minor axis? What do I know about the minor axis? Is it a diagonal? Where is the minor axis going?
To the left.
That's almost a diagonal, but it's not. It's going to what?
Left vanishing point.
Yeah. It's going to the left vanishing point. So it's going towards that left vanishing point. And that gives me my angle. So it's almost the diagonal, but it's not. And again, just to help you guys see, this was the first one that we did, and it went towards the right vanishing point. And this one is going to go through the center, which I estimated, and it's going to go, even though it's extending out this way, in this direction it's going towards the left vanishing point. So I've got, again, the 5 pieces of information that I really want to be thinking about as I ghost this in are the midpoints and the angle. So I'm going to rotate my page. I'm going to draw a nice smooth ellipse that fits in there, that hits these points in a tangent manner. And then on the top one, I'm going to do the same thing. Where does my minor axis go on the top?
Straight up.
Straight up. So I'm going to find the center of this. Again, I'm just estimating. And I wish I had a third color. But there's my minor axis. I've got my 4 points around the perimeter. I want to make sure that that minor axis cuts this thing in half. And this is probably going to be a much thinner ellipse for most of you. But each of these points need to be tangent. That's coming close. It looks like I've made it too thin. Does anybody have any questions so far?